Hey there, folks. I'm here in my front garden, and yeah, I just want to do a little damage update on my palms because yeah, it's been pretty cold, and yeah, we've had quite a few nights in the teens these past couple days, some in the 20s, lower 20s, and it's certainly been pretty cold. And yeah, just to show you guys how my palms are making it. So it's right about 29, 30 Fahrenheit right now. I think it got to around 40 today, and a lot of the highs are in the 30s and 40s. So it's been pretty cold. I wouldn't exactly say it's been a bad winter so far, but last winter we didn't really have any nights in the teens, and we've had quite a few so far. So I'd say it's maybe moderately bad. I wouldn't exactly call it a bad winter. It's not that bad so far, but and I'll talk about my plans in terms of protection for some of my palms. So let's start with Chamaerops humilis. Of course, this thing you can see, and I noticed this with a lot of my palms, the leaflets really start to curl. And Chamaerops naturally have very thin leaflets, but these leaflets really start to close up. Normally they're wider like that, and they really start to close up. And I don't know if you guys can see that right there, but let me try to open that up. There, yeah. I don't know if you can see. There's like a little bit of, there's definitely some browning on those fronds, but yeah, I mean, it's been pretty cold, and it's the wet rain that they really hate, and it really, it does start to show. So yeah, I mean, it's these palms are marginal here, but they can take the temperatures. They just don't like the wet rain. So we'll just have to see. The ground is literally crunchy, hard, frozen right now. So it's been cold. It's been quite cold, but yeah, my Chamaerops humilis definitely showing a bit of damage here. The spear is still nice and firm though, thankfully. And yeah, you can see just that little bit of browning there across the frond. But yeah, in terms of protection, so for this one, what I'm thinking is, this past week, like I said, we've had a few nights in the teens. It doesn't look like there'll be many in the teens for the next week, but we'll have to see. I'm thinking if it continues like this, maybe I'll protect it. I'm thinking I'm going to go this week and then sort of, I always play it by ear, but sort of see what happens from there. If we have a lot of more weeks like this with nights in the teens, then I will end up probably covering it, probably putting a plastic bag over it. Minimalist, that's in my minimal protection. Or maybe burlap if it gets like really bad, which I don't expect. But yeah, I'm not planning on using any heating or anything. It certainly doesn't need it. And for me, it's more of a question of, do I want it to look good in spring, or do I want it to look beat up and have to sort of recover in spring? Because I'd say, I mean, I know some in the area that have gone pretty much unprotected for a number of years. These are probably, a little less hardy than trackies here, but I don't think it'll have any problem making it through this winter unless we have a super bad winter, which it doesn't seem like it. It's just a matter of, do I want it to look good? And yeah, obviously I do want it to look good in spring. I don't want to have to heat it, but I don't want it to look bad. And yeah, you can really see this sucker here really taking a beating. All these little fronds here, completely crisp. This one's nice and green still, but yeah, definitely a bit of browning showing, and the leaflet's just starting to fold up and curl. That's just what happens when it gets cold. You can just see that brown there a little bit, but I mean, overall it still looks fine. It looks totally good, but just definitely a bit of damage showing. And yeah, like I said, I'm gonna play it by ear. Not gonna protect it quite yet, but if by next week it still looks like the long-term forecast is a lot of nights in the teens, which I'm not sure if it will be, but if it still looks like that, then yeah, maybe I'll throw a tarp over it or something. Just because I don't want it to look bad. I would love to say that it got through the winter unprotected. I have no doubt that it would, but it probably wouldn't look great. It'd probably have a lot of brown fronds, and I'd probably have to do a lot of trimming. So yeah, I mean, we'll play it by ear, and I'll keep you guys updated. Let me know your guys' suggestions. A lot of people have said, I should cover it. Some people have said not. I feel like a lot of local gardeners have said that, it'll probably be fine, because, the climate here is very interesting. A lot of fluctuations in terms of temperature. I mean, we can have the rare 70-degree day in winter, and yet it can also be quite cold. So we'll just have to see, and I'm going to play it by ear. And like I said, if we have a lot more weeks with nights in the teens or low 20s, I probably will end up covering it. But definitely showing a bit of damage, less hardy than the blue form, Cerifera. I really do want to get this Cerifera at some point, because it's a really great form that's hardier here. So yeah, I do hope to get a Cerifera and put it in the ground. Those things are more bulletproof here, but yeah, we'll just have to play it by ear, see how it does, and I'll keep you guys updated. Sable Minor, of course, looks flawless. None of these temperatures ever put any spotting damage whatsoever on it. Needle Palm looks great. Looks like this frond might have been bent over a little bit in the snow, but yeah, spear nice and green. All the fronds are green. Looks fantastic. Those suckers look beautiful. And yeah, very sad news on my Southern Magnolia, not mine, my neighbor's Southern Magnolia here. Still gonna make it through, but yeah, these young ones, unfortunately, can really snap pretty easily under the snow, and you got this beautiful branch that just completely snapped over here. Very, very sad to see. And yeah, I guess we'll have to cut that away at some point, but yeah, it'll be fine. But it's just really sad to see this huge branch collapse, I guess, under the snow. The snow here is very wet and moist. Look at this, by the way. I put these here to prevent this from being chopped again, but I expected this to look worse. You can see this is sable minor seedling. You know, I didn't expect it to look worse, but I was a little worried maybe it would, because the ground's, like I said, you know, literally crunchy, solid, frozen solid. But yeah, it's sable minor seedlings, when they start to get like really thin, that's when they're really crisp. But these look great, and I think they'll be totally fine. You know, they don't need protection or anything like that. But yeah, this is my wow, you can really see the difference. Definitely true take heel. I mean, look at the green versus the silvery backs. Really incredible and really showing here. But you can really see those leaflets starting to curl. Very unusual. You know, it doesn't have that. That's clearly a sign of the cold. But I would say if any Trachycarpus can even be considered close to bulletproof here, it's this one. You know, this is hardier than Fortunae, and I think it'll be totally fine. The spear is nice and firm, thankfully. And yeah, again, these are very easy to just throw something over, wrap the trunk if I need to. So you know, play it by ear. And yeah, not planning on protecting it unless it gets worse. You know, unless we have like nights below 10 Fahrenheit, which is unlikely, but possible, I guess, in a really bad winter. You can see Spanish moss still doing well here. Keep you guys updated on that. Sable minor. This thing actually's got, wow, not really damage, but I mean literal damage. It's got, I don't know if it's from the snow or what, but these are starting to crack, huh? Looks totally fine though. Spear looks great. Completely bulletproof palm here, but yeah, I guess I think that's from the ice. Just these leaflets, these fronds are starting to crack a little bit. Waggy palm. No, wow, Waggy actually looks better than I expected, because these are supposedly the least hardy of the 3 trackies I have. But wow, it looks fantastic actually. Yeah, this little spotting was here before. That's clearly not cold damage. When you got that sort of brownish spotting, that's not cold damage. Cold damage shows up like a lighter brown almost. And yeah, looks actually great. Not really any cold damage visible. A little bit of curling on some of these lower leaflets, but looks fantastic. Yeah, where's the spear? There. Oh wow, it's a big spear. Jeez. Oh no, is that it? Yeah, that is a spear. Wow, that's a huge spear right there. Nice and firm, incredibly firm. And then Fortunae looks absolutely flawless. No damage whatsoever. You can see it's obviously a bit of a chewed up frond, but that's not from the cold. Completely flawless so far. So far so good. Again, trackies are not, unless it somehow it dips below 10 Fahrenheit or maybe down to 10 Fahrenheit. I will not be protecting these. You know, it's possible if we have like, you know, a week of lows at like 12 Fahrenheit, then maybe I'll protect them, but that's unlikely. Sable minor seedling. Sorry, it's getting dark, guys. There and there, and let me get up close to some. All look completely flawless, completely flawless. Got these 2 ones. I put these little bamboo poles here to protect them from getting mowed over. Where's that one? Oh, there it is. Jeez, this thing's crushed over. This thing is getting really beat up. This one got sort of mowed over. Now it's really crushed here, but still alive. Right there next to my finger. I don't know if you guys can quite see that. Other one here looks great. Right there. And then 3rd one. Looks fantastic. All right, folks. That's a little damage update on my palms. So far, really only the Chamaerops showing damage, and only a little bit. And then obviously some of the leaflets you'll see curling. That just happens with cold. That happened last year, and they'll uncurl. That, you know, I mean, so long as they don't really start to brown, they can just easily curl up and uncurl. I think the curling is sort of just a way to, I don't know, almost like not really heat itself, but the frond sort of to relieve stress and energy to, you know, to get water and nutrients to all that leaflet. It sort of curls up on itself to conserve energy, needs less water, and it stays in that sort of almost shriveled state, and then it will uncurl itself so long as it warms up. And that's sort of the big what if, you know, is it going to? And we'll have to see, and I'll play it by ear. But yeah, so far, Chamaerops, again, I mean, it still looks great. Sorry, guys. There, still looks great, but yeah, we'll just have to play it by ear. Cinerea looking pretty good, and I've seen some other cinerea in town. I drove by one yesterday, a little tiny one, and it looked great also. So yeah, keep you guys updated, and yeah, that's sort of the plan here. Let me know your guys' input. I always love hearing from you guys, and stay tuned for more videos. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I really appreciate all you guys watching my videos. It really means a lot to me, and I really mean that, and yeah, I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.